Okay, let's try it one more time. Pagio, go ahead, please.
Okay, let me go again, Coach. How you doing first and foremost? How valuable is Jrue Holiday to this team, and what are the key factors with getting a win over Iran?
For your first question, the champion, and he brings a certain pedigree to this game, and we saw that the other night, specifically in the fourth quarter. More importantly, we're just starting to figure each other out in each other's roles, learn the dynamics, rotation as we move forward. But Jrue brings a lot of different things to this game. He's got leadership, he's got a toughness, physicality on the defensive end, and he can get to his spots offensively. But it's great to have all the guys here. Chris is in the room right now. We're going to be able to integrate these guys and let them be themselves as we move forward. And tomorrow is when we'll start again with Iran. And, the keys to beating these guys is just being ourselves, worrying about what we do best. We want to get out and play fast. We want to get out and create extra possessions throughout the course of the game. It's only 40 minutes. We have to make this game a little bit faster, and we have to get as many easy shots as we can. But we have to be ourselves as well. Our guys have to play with confidence. They have to play with the freedom that they're used to. And then they also have to do that together. Make simple plays, make quick plays, and enjoy this experience.
Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
Joe Barton, you're up, and then we'll go to Tim Reynolds.
Hi, Lloyd. Good to see you. Now that the finals guys have been here for a couple days and hopefully have gotten some sleep, I think we would all expect that there'd be some kind of rotation or lineup change. But have you guys gotten to a point with them and are comfortable enough with them that you can really do that and you can put one or two into the starting lineup and kind of reshape your rotation based off of them being ready to go?
Yeah, going into Sunday's game, we knew it would be a little bit of a variable in terms of, would these guys be able to play? How much would they be able to play? What would they feel like once we got to the arena? We were able to get to a shoot around and then the game. And, we always thought the next day would be tough adjusting to getting here in Tokyo. But we've had, since the game, 2 different practices. We were able to get up and down and scrimmage a little bit of practice today. And yeah, we'll be able to make some adjustments to the rotation, to the lineup, and, integrate guys, see who plays well together, where we can balance it out a little bit. And, I think that's what the 2 days of practice has provided us.
And then I also wanted to ask, this is a little bit, I guess, bigger picture, but, you scored 76 the other night. And then if we go back to the 29 Cup, which you were on the staff and we were there, you guys averaged 86.5 points per game, which is dramatically below where previous Team USA teams have been able to score the ball. So what do you guys think is going on offensively? And are you, I guess, to get right to it, are you scoring as much as you should be scoring?
No, I think it's a valid point. We would obviously, and I think I mentioned that in the previous statement, is how do we increase possessions? How do we increase possessions throughout the course of the game? Some of it is off your defense. Can you create more turnovers that lead out to easy and early baskets in transition? And obviously teams are going to try and play us as long as they have to on the offensive end and move the basketball and execute and slow the game down. But it's really back to us. Can we speed the game up with our pace? Can we create and force turnovers that allow us to get out early? That's where we have to be. If we're going to generate more points, it's going to be that way. The easy answer in the NBA is to shoot more threes, face the floor. That's not this game. We need to be efficient. We only shot 36% the other night. Some of that is just we need to generate easy baskets.
Next up is Brian Mahoney, and then we'll go to Janelle Moore.
Hey, Lloyd. Actually, after the Olympics were postponed last year, a few things happened in the country that were really emotional issues for guys with George Floyd and a pretty divisive election and stuff. In some ways, would it have been harder last year to play maybe for some guys that The emotions were so high that representing your country would have been a little bit of a tougher decision than it is this year, that maybe there was a benefit to the postponement?
Absolutely. I don't know who would have been able to play under the circumstance and conditions that existed this time last year. You think about getting to Orlando and the start of Orlando, there was a lot of hesitation in doing so. But I think what allowed Orlando to happen successfully was the entire groups, their teams and organizations were together, and it took a lot of commitment and there was a lot of hesitation in order to do that. To bring a team like this together requires a tremendous amount of sacrifice. And every guy that's here is sacrificing at a very high level because of the time commitment and where we are. So I think last year that would have been tough. That would have been tough for me, especially, I know, but speaking for the other guys, I believe that would have been extremely tough to do because there's so many unknowns that were going on then. But I think the biggest thing is to congratulate the guys that are here for their sacrifice and understanding that, we have a task at hand, and the guys that are committed are fully committed and understand that.
Thank you.
No more, you're up, and then Tim Reynolds.
Hi, Coach. In previous questions, you talk about how to generate more efficient offense. And you have struggled at times generating opportunities to score in half court. How can the team improve in this area specifically?
Yeah, great question. Obviously we know how to do it in the full court, but I think to your point, how do you do it in a half court? It's just simple plays. How do you make quick decisions? How do you make, Pop uses the term 0.5 decisions, pass, shoot, or drive it without thinking too much. If you're open, shoot it. These guys are high, efficient, high level scorers that we have. But if it's not there, the shot's not there, make a play for someone else. And having all 12 of our bodies, learning how to play with one another and making those decisions, not only easy for yourself, but make an easy play for your teammate. That's going to be the game, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. The players understand that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tim Reynolds, you're up, and then we'll go to Tyler Boranski.
Thanks, Greg. Hi, Lloyd. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. I have two things for you, and you've sort of alluded to this a couple of times, talking about roles and that. This is not an uncommon issue. When you have a team full of NBA guys, most of the guys that are on your team right now are in a role that's different to what they're used to at home. They're all pretty much alphas at home. What has that process been like? And you talk about how to make all the pieces fit. I mean, you can't have six guys all be the leading scorer of this team, like they're accustomed at home. How has that been? I guess how do you work through all that and figure out who's comfortable how?
Well, I think it's a balance of what everyone on the staff is trying to do and has been doing. I just met Devin Booker in terms of spending time with him 3 days ago. So in those conversations, you get to know them a little bit more. For me, I try and ask questions about why it's important to be here and what they're looking forward to. And a lot of them are understanding of that, to play with a team, to play with these guys, to represent our country, sacrifice and commitment to do so. And when you speak in those terms, you understand about the role acceptance. You know who you're playing with. But it is a challenge to figure out, how to stay aggressive while also, playing for the team. A lot of these guys are used to a lot of shots, more minutes, more opportunities, and now they're playing with a great player to their right and a great player to their left. So we need them to be as confident as they always are. We need them to do it as a unit, and we need them to learn. They don't have to make the same plays that they make on their NBA teams, but they need to have the same mentality and mindset.
I had a second one for you as well. Usually when the U.S. and Iran are in the same headline, it's for something political. It's for some sort of conflict. It's some diplomatic disagreement of some sort. I know tomorrow is about winning a basketball game. I understand that. But have you given any thought at all to how unusual, especially in these times, it is for these two nations? I mean, they just don't get together in a lot of sports. Have you thought about that at all?
Personally, no, I have not. I think there's a lot of things that you're capable of doing when you're on this grand stage. But bottom line for us is to win gold. And we came over here understanding that we understand there's a lot of things in this world that are going on that are tough to swallow, ways of addressing it. There's so many things you would like to do off the court. But we're here, and again, I commend the guys for their commitment and sacrifice. But our commitment and sacrifice is mainly and only towards winning the gold and doing it together. And, I think that is the statement in and of itself.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and then we'll go to Josh Coyne.
Hey, Coach, you touched on guys adjusting roles and
You're muted, Tyler.
oh, sorry about that. Am I good now?
Yep.
Okay, great. You touched on guys, adjusting roles, and to speak on a specific player, Jason Tatum, didn't start for you guys against France, wasn't playing much down the stretch, didn't play much of the fourth quarter. I know this might be a better question for Pop. Hopefully we'll ask him later on, but based off the coaching staff's conversations, what led to those decisions?
Just trying to find some balance. I think if you look back to when we were in Vegas, I think 7 or 8 guys being active in those games. How do you start the game well? How do you sub and still have a great scoring punch and versatility? And how do you have different activity on the floor to go along with your spacing? If you have a guy that spaces the floor well, let's get someone that slashes or rolls to the rim extremely well. All of those things are dynamic issues that we're trying to figure out. And, a guy like Jason's going to be fine. And we're going to keep finding ways to insert him into the game, whether it's via rebounding. He had a great coast-to-coast dunk the last game. That type of play is important. It isn't, what the guys are used to. It's just find a way to insert yourself into the game. And Jason had a tremendous practice today, and we know what he's capable of doing, and we look forward to seeing him do that even more in the game. You just have to do it in shorter spurts, and you have to do it as often as you can while you're out there.
Next up is Josh Coyne, and then we have time for one more question, and we'll go to Scott Agnes.
Hey, Coach, it's Josh Coyne of Double Clutch UK. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. There's been a lot of talk about the difference in FIBA and NBA physicality, and I guess what's allowed in the international game. How much of that were you prepared for, and do you believe it to be kind of a legitimate challenge for this team?
It's a great question. We were preparing for it. We've thought about that. We understand that. And then in the first quarter, the game was officiated extremely tight. And, we had guys in foul trouble right away. So, every game has its own personality and identity. Just as you're preparing one way, it's being officiated another. And I think the guys, just biggest thing is stay ready and be willing to adjust and have a very strong face and just do what we do. Play our game, stay locked in. It's a 40-minute game. Insert yourself right from the start and try and be as consistent as you can throughout. But if we do have guys get in foul trouble, we understand and appreciate our depth. But the adjustment really is the 12 guys, and it's always going to come back to the 12 guys. Us playing together, us inserting ourselves in at the unit, us supporting each other when you're in a different role and on the bench. The better we are at that, the better we'll be moving forward.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Final question is from Scott Agnes, Fieldhouse Files.
Hey, Lloyd. I'm curious, where do you feel like you have benefited the most from your time with USA Basketball? And also, can you describe your direct or specific details? What does Pop turn to you for?
From what I'm doing here is assisting Pop. I think we all are, in trying to help him with the guys, get them up to speed, get them organized. We all rotate the scouts. I have Iran tomorrow. Jay had France the other day. Steve has Czech Republic. And so just as you would on any normal staff, you do your job as an assistant. You do what is needed in the practices, and you try and keep the group and the energy going well, and you try and bring up as many things as we can to Pop in our coaches meetings so that we're prepared and organized. In terms of just benefits selfishly and personally, I'm sitting in a room with Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr and Jay Wright and Jeff Van Gundy and Ime Udoka. Will Hardy and Jerry Colangelo pretty much every day at Sean Ford. So it's a great personal advantage that I have. I don't take it for granted. This is the grand stage that we're on. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for everyone. So the bottom line is, enjoy the reward. And right now we're on that journey of we've got 5 more games left with one common goal. And so enjoy this journey so that we can enjoy the reward at a much greater level in about 10 or 12 days.
And a quick follow-up, if I may, it seems like you and Rick's relationship really started maybe about this time or a year ago. Can you describe what that relationship has been like and now your new opportunity to join his staff here in Indy?
Yeah, I think, I think all of the coaches last year, both head and assistant coaches in our league were able to gel throughout a lot of the off-court issues and a lot of the Coaches Association efforts. What we can do to impact change in our communities in our 30 cities. And Rick, obviously being the head of the Coaches Association and me being the chair of the Coaches for Racial Justice allowed us to communicate at a higher level on a lot of stuff off the court. Now we'll get an opportunity to do that on the court there in Indiana.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy